So what did we talk about last class session?
About emotional intelligence.
Yes, right. And I asked you to think how you can develop emotional intelligence. What practical steps you can take to start developing it, today, tomorrow. And the reason you got this task to think about was that I think that you got an understanding that emotional intelligence is really important. You see, a person, as we were saying it yesterday, a person may be very intelligent. A person may have really great education and really good experience. But if a person cannot manage their emotions, then the person just blows up. And all this intelligence, all this smartness is not accessible anymore. Last class session, we were saying that when the emotional center of the brain, amygdala, gets activated, then it takes all the resources to itself. Then now the brain resources are spent not on the higher level thinking, not on good reasoning, not on logical analysis, not on creativity, but on very easy, very simple responses, fight or flight. Something which the person, learned even very long in childhood. So this is why if you cannot manage your emotions, you pretty much lose big parts of your intelligence, of your really great knowledge when amygdala gets activated. This is why emotional intelligence is so important. You simply help yourself to stay intelligent all the time. You help yourself to stay, creative, smart as you always are, all the time. And this is why you really need to start thinking how to increase the level of your emotional intelligence. See, it is never, you can never say, oh, I have it very high, don't need to develop it anymore. See, there is there is a saying, there is no limit to perfection. So the more you can get, the higher the level of emotional intelligence you can get, definitely the better. Suppose such a simple example. An employee is going to present some really good ideas to their boss. And the employee has really thought about this idea. The idea is really, really was thinking about this particular person has spent lots of time analyzing data, collecting information, and really coming up with really insightful idea of how this idea can be used in the company for the company to actually, skyrocket to #1 in the industry. But this particular employee is afraid of their boss. The boss is not the nicest person, as it often happens, and the employee really is afraid of the boss. And so now when the employee is in the boss's office and really would like to share all the information, and the boss says, okay, yes, what do you have for me to share? Now amygdala gets activated. This particular employee has had so many of, negative experiences with such people that as soon as amygdala got this new information, this kind of not very happy looking boss, very impatiently looking boss, the boss who seems like he or she doesn't think very much of their subordinates. So amygdala gets this information, and now it compares all this new information with what it has taught, and definitely and there are lots of resemblances. Now amygdala is activated, and now, so this particular employee now does not remember anything that he or she has prepared. So all this really good and reasonable speech now cannot be delivered. So and what happens next? The boss, he or she already thought, didn't think very high about his or her subordinates. It happens very often. And now this particular boss is fortified in his thinking that, oh, my subordinates, they're lazy, they don't know much. I need to do everything. I'm so important here. I need to control everything. And what happens with this employee? He or she thinks, oh, again, I couldn't deliver this great idea that I have. And now the employee is disappointed. The boss is kind of again disappointed. And so that's the picture. And the reason is that this particular employee didn't manage the emotions. There are different ideas of how people can develop their emotional intelligence. For example, one of the experts suggested that before you go to the office of your boss, for a second, stop before the door and think about something really, really nice, something really pleasant, something that you have done really well. And then this will show the amygdala that you have achieved a lot and that you are capable. And now you will open the door of your boss with half smile, with confident half smile, and then everything will definitely go significantly better. Or another idea, suggestion is to use the social learning theory that we discussed during our previous lectures. We were talking about Albert Bandura, how he developed the social learning theory, and the part of that theory was something called self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is a belief that you have all the skills and talents to achieve the goal. And the main word here is the belief. So if you believe that you have all the skills and talents to achieve the goal, you have significantly more chances to actually achieve your goal than if you actually had all the skills and talents but thought that you did not have them. So this is what self-efficacy is, and it's really effective, and it really works. So how to increase it? Very simple ways. Tell yourself, I have done this very well, I have done this very well. Just think back to your previous successes and think, oh, I have done this very well. I'm sure that I will be able to deal with this challenge very well as well. Or think at someone around you who have done something similar in difficulty, and think, okay, this person and this person, they're definitely not smarter or better than I am. I'm sure that I will be able to handle it. Once again, sounds very simplistic, but really this is effective. See, these are all kind of very simple ways, but they work and they are effective. And so emotional intelligence needs to be raised to a high level. People need to be able to handle their emotions. And the wrong thing would be just say, if a person is angry, to say, oh, I'm not angry, I'm feeling well. No, that's really a wrong thing to do. So you need to understand what you're feeling and manage exactly what you are feeling. And now let me get back to you, to your ideas of what practical steps can you take to develop your emotional intelligence, even starting today, tomorrow, very soon. Okay. I looked at my notebook and missed who was the first one to raise their hands, Maria, Angelica, or Olena. Okay, whoever was the first one, please start. And I will make notes who is participating in the class.
I guess I may start. So basically, I unfortunately missed yesterday's class, but I thought about this question. I've tried reading a book about emotional intelligence, and I thought maybe it will help me, but I made a conclusion that if you are not, if you cannot recognize your own emotions, and stuff that triggers those emotions, none of the books, of the movies, of the studies will help you. That is why I decided to like do it myself. I analyzed my emotions and I analyzed what lead to that emotions. For example, I am a lot about overthinking, and I am afraid not about like the moment. For example, when I have had my job interview, I was not afraid of the job interview itself. I was afraid about the, a few moments before when you're getting ready, you're all like this. And I found for myself a solution. I listened to like calm music without the words, just a simple one. It lowers my heartbeat, and I quit the music right before I started meeting for the job interview or something. And the moment you enter that interview, you are not as nervous as you could be. So the overall, you just have to understand your emotions on your own and your triggers on your own without any additional sources like books.
Okay, excellent idea. Yes, Maria, thank you for sharing this. Really, really good idea. And listening to music is very, very effective and very helpful. Very good. And then Angelica, Elena.
Yes, so I understood that for me, like such three main steps can be implemented for developing my emotional intelligence. It practically works for me not only in this case, but if we're talking about the emotional intelligence, I would follow such three steps. It is observation, then analysis, and after this, like practice implementation. So basically how it works for me, if you want to develop your emotional intelligence, you should observe other people in for example communication, how they treat themselves, how they manage their emotions during some, for example, difficult periods, or I don't know, for example, if you're somewhere in a school, in the university, at work, you can observe how other people communicate between each other, how they manage some situations, and after this you can analyze and compare how you would behave in some particular cases, what you will feel, what emotions you will have, and it actually can be also practiced. So, for example, if you understood that you liked how other people manage their emotions in some cases, you can analyze if you are doing the same thing or you're doing the opposite thing. And after this, you can practice to manage your emotions in this particular way that you liked.
Excellent. Also excellent thinking. Thank you, Angelica. Yes, pay attention to other people. Really, pay close attention to other people. How they behaving, what is their body language. Pay attention to how they behave and compare their behavior to what you expected, and then see the difference and try to understand what is the difference. And in the beginning, it will seem hard, but as you actually practice it, it will be easier, and it will be actually quite interesting. Use your knowledge of body language. Really, go back to this presentation that we have just learn at least those gestures that we have in the slide. And even if you know those gestures by heart, like if you have understanding those gestures like by default, as soon as you see the person, for example, doing this, you immediately should think to yourself, okay, I need to start changing something. I need to change something right now. I need to say something different. I need to start asking questions. So as soon as you see some gestures, react to them. And it's really fun, and it really helps you understand others. Okay, Olena?
Yeah. Since I work in a PR communication agency, I interact with a large number of people every day, and each person has their own energy, personality, and communication style, which affect us to the dialogue and accordingly as emotion during the conversation and after the interaction. And that's why it's very important to study your own emotions, to be able to recognize them, understand how to deal with them, and know how to help yourself. And I totally agree with Maria who said about it, and I just want to add that's a great technique to keeping writing an emotion diary, like in your black note to writing, where you write down all the triggers through the day. And this helps you understand yourself better and track these moments more clearly. And as a follow-up to this, it's also crucial to know how to help yourself. In other words, to train self-regulation. So if you understand what happened and what's the trigger, another step is to help yourself what to do with this. And it's time to try out different options to find the own really work for you method. And for example, it's stopping yourself at this moment and speak with yourself, going for a walk, or meditation, or just get some fresh air, or listening music, and so on.
Yes, Olena, all good, really good ideas. Get some fresh air, listen to music. Yes, whatever helps. Yes, thinking, excellent. Very good. Margarita?
Yeah, hello. I just had one interesting idea that probably not only society can have impact on how we can be understand others' emotions, but also media, because we live in the period of time when people usually stay at home and they use a lot of superficial information. And I even noticed how sometimes different films and even cartoons can influence on people even from the early age. I think that when there is, for example, a hard emotional part, it can help people, even children, understand and reveal these sad emotions, and also have empathy to the characters. But right now, I just assume that they are like more media which try not to harm others' emotions, and therefore people tend to less have any conflicts and understand each other deeply, because they don't know how to handle their emotional state. This is just my like little analyze how I see right now the situation. Just
No,
thank
it's
you.
actually good analysis. Yes, people very often really do not know how to handle themselves and others. This is why many people try to have a very superficial, as you mentioned very correctly, relationships because they don't know how to handle deeper ones. Yes, and this is why improving the level of emotional intelligence is crucially important. Good thinking, Margarita. Yes, and I see Lilia.
Yeah, so there can be some situations when one person answers or reacts not the same way as I imagined it in my head. And for myself, I created such rule like to ask myself what might this person feel or think at that moment and why he asks that or does this. So actually it helps a lot to create such space where I can like think about what to say and not give immediately a negative response. So I guess it might be one of the steps to improve intelligence, emotional. Yeah.
It is excellent idea. And Lilia, actually what Lilia has done right now, she has put together this theory of emotional intelligence with practical application. When Lilia said that it's necessary to give yourself some time to react. Do you remember yesterday we were saying that when information gets from a thalamus, when it is still going to the part of the brain where information will be interpreted with logic and reason, part of the information is already in amygdala, and amygdala may get activated. So it is necessary to give yourself time to allow information to actually reach the thinking part of the brain. And then the thinking part of the brain will start working. And this is why such simple pieces of advice as, for example, before you really snap on someone, just count until 5. See, this is a very simple example, and some people think, oh, it's kind of stupid advice, but it's not, because by even counting until 5 before you say something that you may regret later, this time, by doing this, you give yourself time for the information to travel to the thinking part of the brain and to start being interpreted. And so this actually also will not allow amygdala get quickly activated, because you are allowing the thinking part of the brain to actually start working properly. So next time when you are hearing something that really wants you to say something really negative, just count until at least 3, better 5, and then see how your response will be wiser, smarter, and you will be actually happy that you have done this. So see all this, and you have shared really good ideas. So all of these ideas, just remember them. All these ideas are practical and they are effective, and everyone really needs to take charge of your own ability to handle your emotions, because the better you can handle your emotions, the smarter pretty much you are. And then if we go back to our first slide last class, IQ plus EQ equals success, then you will add high level of emotional intelligence to your high level of IQ, which you have already, and then you will have really great success. And I see Varvara, raise your hand. Yes, Varvara?
Yes, I just wanted to add that I agree with everybody about emotional intelligence, and what I maybe noticed as well is how your physical state impacts your emotional state. So both are connected. Therefore, when a person sleeps less than the normal, I don't know, amount of energy and sleep that he or she needs, or anything like stress happens, and so on. So it's kind of like it accumulates, and it impacts your emotions. Therefore, we can kind of be sometimes like show some bad sides in a way. So be aggressive, for instance, even though we didn't want to, I don't know, kind of react this way. However, this kind of things are interlinked and connected. Therefore, like our physical body should kind of cooperate with our mind, and that is why we in this way we can improve our emotions.
Actually, very good thinking, Varvara. Thank you. Yes, stress definitely is negative in this respect. And yes, taking enough of sleep. Those who are in Ukraine, sometimes it's really difficult because of all the air sirens at night, but still everyone needs to, once again, it's your own life. You need to take charge of your own life. You need to take care of your emotions. Just take all the possible steps. And even right now, you have named very many of them. And once again, they're excellent and they're really good. Just remember them and use them. And emotional intelligence can be increased more and more and more. And then people will want to communicate with you. People will want to be your friends. Why? Because you will be the person who, by how you treat others, shows that you understand them. And this is really a great compliment to anyone, that this person is understood. Because very often now, everyone is so busy. Very often people simply pretend to listen, pretend to kind of try to understand, but very often people do not do it. But when someone notices that you actually do understand how he or she is feeling, and actually when this person notices that you are taking some steps understanding the emotional state, then it will be a great a compliment to them, and they will want to be your friends. They will want to actually help you in the future when you need some help. See, lots of good things can start from here. And especially now, the war is going on, people are very much stressed out. So use your emotional intelligence for yourself and for others. And by this, you will help yourself and others. And so, and if the more people do it, the better it will be for everyone, for the society. Okay, very good. Good thinking. Excellent thinking. Thank you for taking time to think about this. And now let's turn to our next discussion. And our discussion for today is something called human capital. Well, maybe you have thought such a combination of words, human capital. In fact, if you have started working, or maybe you have heard that actually in some companies, their human resources, HR departments are called human capital department. And World Economic Forum talks about human capital regularly. And human capital in reality is a buzzword. Companies have trainings in human capital development, and I'm sure that you have heard a little bit about this, and probably you were wondering, so why is it so important? So what's such a big deal about this human capital that everyone is talking about it? So today, thanks to our discussion, I'm sure that you will get an understanding of what human capital is, and not that much what human capital is, but how you can use this information, once again, to help yourself improve your careers, increase your career progression. This combination of two words, human and capital. This combination may sound really unusual. And in reality, in the previous century, in Germany, there was some assessment of the words that Germans especially disliked. So this word, phrase human capital, was one of the most disliked two words that for Germans. Why? Because, see, when you say human capital, many people were saying that this term reduces people to capital. What is capital? We know, for example, money is capital, equipment is capital, hard resources. There is also there are also natural resources, natural capital. So how can humans be capital? Let's take a look at this slide and read the definitions of human capital. Productive skills and knowledge which create economic value. A measure of economic value of people's skill sets, consisting of their knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, and experiences. Attributes of acquired population quality, which are valuable and can be augmented by appropriate investment. A source of future satisfaction or future earnings, or both. Qualities that raise future monetary and psychic income by increasing the resources in people. Any acquired qualities and abilities to help individuals and groups be economically productive, similar to physical means of production, for example, factories and money. See, all of these are definitions of human capital. They may sound differently, but in reality, all of them mean the same. What do they mean? Any qualities and abilities, any qualities of human beings that create economic value for them. This is what human capital is. So once again, please remember this. Any qualities of a human being, and these are knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, experiences. So any acquired qualities that help individuals or groups be economically productive. Any acquired qualities that create economic value for individuals or groups. So this is what human capital is. And this is why combination of these two words, human and capital, is perfectly fine. So some human qualities that create capital, that create economic value. So please remember this. Acquired meaning something that can be developed in human beings, which create economic value. So the knowledge and skills, competencies, and attributes embodied in individuals that facilitate creation of personal and social well-being. Any innate abilities and talents, plus knowledge, skills, experiences that make people economically productive. So where is the name coming from? The distinctive feature of human capital compared to other forms of capital, for example, physical, financial, is that it is a part of human beings. It is human because it is embodied in man, and it is capital because it is a source of future satisfaction or future earnings or of both. Please remember this important definition of human capital. So any acquired qualities of human beings which create economic value for them. In reality, several people got Nobel Prizes for the development of the theory of human capital. One of them was Gary Becker, he got the Nobel Prize for development of the being one of those who developed the theory of human capital. And then it was Theodore Schultz, also the Nobel Prize winner, who developed the theory of human capital. And now let me tell you how those individuals came to understanding of importance of human capital, came to understanding of what human capital is. Let's read what Theodore Schultz, once again, one of the Nobel Prize laureates for the human capital theory. This is what he wrote in his classical book called Human Capital, which was published in 1971. So once again, a classical book. Here's what he wrote. And he addressed the Second World War. The toll from bombings was all too visible. In the factories that laid flat, the railroad, bridges, harbors wrecked, and the cities devastated. Structures, equipment, inventories were all heaps of rubble. Economists were called upon to assess the implication of those wartime losses for recovery. And then what happened was, as Theodore Schultz explained later in his book, after the Second World War, economists were asked to come together to evaluate how much time it would take for the economies of countries to be restored. And even in this quote, as we are reading, Second World War brought lots of destructions in very many countries. And so economists, using their economic approach, they used the simple production function. Here is, let me find you. Oh, here it is. They used the production function, which says that the output is the function of several variables: the financial capital, technological progress, and the number of people. So this is, I'm sure you know this formula. This is the neoclassical formula of production. So the output is the function of financial capital, the number of people, and efficiency index. So, and economists used that formula, and they came up with very many years. So according to their estimates, it would take dozens, and it would have taken dozens and dozens of years for the economies of countries to be restored after the Second World War. But as we know, actually, countries were restored quite quickly after the Second World War. And why? Because, as Schultz explained in his book, he said that the economists, using their neoclassical approach, they did not pay attention actually to human capital. They calculated that very many people were killed, as there was not enough of money, which to their estimation would mean that economies it would take lots of time for economies to be restored. But all those experts, they did not take into the equations the human capital, the qualities of human beings. Human capital, these are, as I said, all the acquired qualities of human beings which create economic value. And these qualities are their experiences, their desires, their motivation, their knowledge. So lots and lots of factors go under the umbrella of human capital. So experiences, skills, knowledge, motivation. So all of these are factors of human capital. And that was the mistake of economists, that they calculated how many people were alive to restore economies, but they did not pay attention to actually the human capital of those people. See, if we have 3 people with very high level of human capital, very motivated people with really great experiences, with really great knowledge, with really great skills, with extremely strong desire to do something. So such 3 people are worth of 30 people, very regular ordinary people with kind of mediocre knowledge, skills, experiences, and motivation. So this is what human capital is. Once again, knowledge, skills, experiences, motivation, desires. So anything that can create economic value for an individual or for a group. And so this is what human capital is. And even now, as as the war is going on, and sometime in summer, one of the experts, international from another country, he calculated, he made actually the mistake that economists did after the Second World War. He said, okay, so many places in Ukraine are destroyed. Many people, unfortunately, were killed. And so he said, oh, it would take Ukraine hundreds and hundreds of years to be restored. And the correct answer is no. The gentleman was wrong. Why? Because Ukrainians have a very strong human capital, and in terms of how we all want Ukraine to blossom, how all we see Ukraine as a great, successful country. And Ukrainians are motivated, Ukrainians are well educated, Ukrainians have good skills. Ukrainians want to see Ukraine as a successful country. And this is why it definitely will take, it will not take very long for Ukraine to be restored after the war, thanks to the strong human capital of Ukrainians. I mentioned some time ago about the human capital theory, which several gentlemen got the Nobel Prize for. What does this theory say? It says that there is strong positive correlation between human capital and economic success on individual, group, and national level. So once again, please remember this. Human capital theory. There is a strong positive correlation between human capital and economic success on individual, group, and national level. You know what correlation is? It means that the higher the level of human capital, the higher level of economic success is of this particular individual, or of a group of individuals, or even of a country. And before we continue talking about human capital theory, I'd like you to remember a very important fact about human capital. Some people, some time ago, people said that education is human capital. So people kind of said that whatever the education a person has, this is the human capital that the person has. But you need to remember that education is only a part of human capital. Education is important part of human capital. Education creates economic value. But there are other factors except education, which are also a part of human capital and which also can create economic value. And let's say, let's name some of these qualities. For example, let's start with basics. For example, punctuality. Is it a part, is it a factor of human capital? Yes. Why? Because, well, it's obvious. Employers do not like employees who are late. Being punctual really has a great return on investment. You don't miss anything. You are on time, meaning you are there when it is necessary. And so being punctual is a great quality, and being punctual creates economic value. Why? Because, for example, there is a meeting going on, and some really important business deals are discussed there. Someone is late for the meeting, someone lost this information, but you are there from the very beginning, you got the information, you used it, and then you got some earnings thanks to this. See, once again, being punctual is really a good example of a quality of effect of human capital. Let's say, give us examples. For example, knowledge of foreign languages. Is it a is it a part, is it a factor of human capital? Yes. Why? Because when you know other languages, definitely it opens so many doors for you. And so knowing other languages has a great potential to create economic value for you. And so, yes, knowledge of foreign languages is a great factor of human capital. Ability to play some musical instruments, is it a factor of human capital? Yes. Why? Because, for example, when a person can play a guitar, usually people get together when someone is playing guitar, people start singing, or people simply are listening, and then people kind of get closer to each other, people start trusting each other more, people become friends, and then when friends exchange information about different things, and this again has a great potential for a person who knows how to play guitar to create economic value through this. See, this is just very simple but clear examples that it is not only education which is a part of human capital. Also, education is an important part of human capital, but so many other qualities of human beings which create economic value are also a part of human capital. And this is very important. Let's name a couple of others. For example, your ability to read the body language of someone. Is it a part of human capital? Yes, because it can really help you to earn more. Your ability to communicate, to deliver your ideas on a very high professional level. Is it a part of human capital? Once again, yes, because this can create economic value for you. So as you see, there are very many qualities, skills, experiences. So all of them which can create economic value are your human capital. Experiences of, for example, living in several countries. Is it a part of human capital? Again, yes. You are not a stranger in different places. You know how to fit into the society, into the culture. So definitely it's a part of human capital. So please remember this. And now let's go back to our human capital series. So there is a strong positive correlation between human capital and economic success, which means that the higher your human capital is, the higher your economic success is. Basically, the wealthier you are. The higher the human capital of a group, the wealthier this group is, and the higher human capital of a country, the wealthier this country is. And as we are talking about this, let's ask such a question. Does each organization or country have its own unique human capital. Right now, we were discussing human capital from more kind of individual perspective, that someone knows foreign language, that someone has education, that someone can speak well. So in terms of individuals, it's understandable. Each human being has some human capital. But what about an organization or even country? Do they or can they have their unique unique human capital? And to answer this question, let's use two theories. One of them is social learning theory, which actually we mentioned today. And what does social learning theory say? It says that people copy behavior of others to achieve the desired outcome. People learn all kinds of behavior by imitation and modeling of others. And learning to a big extent occurs by observation of others. And you definitely would agree with this. You look through some fashion magazine and you try to find the same dress as some popular singer does. So you simply copy the behavior of that particular individual. So this is what, once again, social learning theory is about. It says that people copy behavior of others to achieve the desired outcome, meaning, suppose there are two individuals, individual A and individual B. And individual B is doing something, and by doing this, this individual B is capable of getting something really valuable. And now our individual A does not have this something valuable, but wants to have it. So what does individual A do now? He or she looks at the person B, sees what the person B does to get something valuable, and simply copies the behavior and then gets the same stuff. So this is what social learning theory is about. People imitate others, people copy behavior of others to get something that others are getting for themselves. So social learning theory. And another theory is human capital theory. There is strong positive correlation between human capital and individual economic success, and the most important single determinant of the amount invested in a human being is profitability, or the rate of return. And now let's put these two theories together. Suppose there is let's keep this slide with these two theories. Let's compare two countries. One country is, for example, let's take two countries in terms of the Transparency International organization. Transparency International has index of doing business. How those who are involved in the business activities, how they are transparent, how businesses are transparent, how businesses are conducted in an honest, transparent, and ethical way. This is doing business is. So let's take two countries. One country is at the top of this index. Now, for example, some Nordic countries, Sweden, Norway, Lithuania. And let's compare those countries with some countries which are at the very bottom of this index. So countries which are at the top of this index, they have businesses in such countries are transparent. Businesses in such countries are conducted in the ethical and moral way, and everyone does business once again, to a significant degree, honestly. Let's think what qualities are required in these countries. The quality of being honest, right? The quality to trust others, the quality to be trustable. And so it is necessary to have these qualities to be a successful business person in such a country. And now, if we use social learning theory, you will understand that people in such countries, they copy the behavior of honesty, the behavior of ethical approach to business, the behavior of being transparent in business, because they see that other business people are using these qualities and they are successful. And now everyone repeats the same the same circle. Everyone copies the behavior, and this behavior is being transparent, honest, and ethical. But this is in terms of a country which is high in the Transparency International Index. If we take a country which is low in the index of doing business, what qualities are required in that country? Of course, if you are honest and transparent in business, you will not be very successful in such a country. And this is why people do not copy this behavior, because this behavior simply will not create any economic value for this particular person. So this means that the same human capital factor, the same human capital quality, being honest in business, can create great economic value in one location and cannot create any economic value in another location. So this is what makes human capital location specific. Please pay attention to this. The same human capital quality can create great economic value in one location and cannot create any economic value or even be a hindrance in another location. So this is what you need to do when you have joined a company, or when you think about joining a company. Let's think in terms of application of human capital theory in real life. First of all, any activity that influences income is an investment in human capital. Any kind of investment in human capital which increases earnings is legitimate and equally beneficial, like formal education. Just as physical capital is created in changes in materials to form tools that facilitate production, human capital is created by changes in persons that bring about skills and capabilities that make them able to act in new ways. And then there is also something called from specific and from general human capital. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. So how can you apply this knowledge in your life? Suppose you suppose you have just joined a new company. And of course, you want to be successful in that company. You want to, make a difference. You want to create great value in this company. So what you need to do is you need to understand what factors of human capital create economic value in this company. Please remember that human capital is location specific. As I've said a few minutes ago, the same human capital quality can create great economic value in some location and can create zero economic value or even be a hindrance in another location. So what you need to do is you need to understand what human capital factors are required in your company to make yourself successful in this company. So pay attention to what successful employees do in your company. Pay attention to how they behave. Pay attention to how they're dressed. Pay attention to how they talk. Pay attention to what they do to be promoted. And then simply copy their behavior. But then there is a trick here. Sometimes it may happen that as you notice what successful employees in a company do to actually get promoted, you will not like what they do. And we will talk about it when we talk about organizational politics, organizational power. So sometimes those employees, are promoted thanks to their human capital qualities, which are valuable in their company, but which others think as distasteful. For example, ability to simply, without any compassion, push someone aside simply for yourself to be promoted. This is a quality, this is a human capital quality, because it can make someone be economically productive. It is the human capital quality which is looked down by the society, of course, but this is the human capital quality that someone has. So what you will need to do is you will need to understand, once again, what are the human capital qualities which are required for success in your company. And then try to decide if the human capital qualities which are required for you to be successful in a company, you agree with them and you think that they are good and valuable, simply develop these qualities. But if you think that there are some human capital qualities which are required for someone to be successful in your company, but you do not like these qualities and you don't want to develop them in yourself. So what you need to do is you need to find another company which will value the human capital qualities that you have, which will require those human capital qualities with which you agree. And then it will be a win-win approach. You will enjoy working in such a company, and you will actually create great value for the company, and you will be significantly quicker promoted in such company because you will be in the environment with which you agree. It will be a great fit for you. So this is how we apply the human capital theory in real life. So once again, please remember that human capital is any quality, any acquired quality that a human being, a person has, which can create economic value. And remember that education is only a part of human capital. It is, of course, a very important part of human capital, but it is only one part of it. When you take classes, when you do your homework, you are acquiring the education factor of human capital, and this is really great. But you also need to think how to develop other factors of your human capital. For example, ability to communicate well. How you definitely need to increase it to high level. Everyone does. So how do you do it? Speak up during class sessions. Participate in discussions. When you have an assignment of putting together a presentation, do not ask AI do it for you, but do it yourself. Practice and really polish your presentation so that you will really like even yourself how you talk, how you present. And then it will be very easy for you to talk with HR manager during your next job interview, to present your great idea to your boss, or to talk with anyone, because you will have this skill. So what you will need to do which is your, what will be your homework for the next class session is the following. Think about a company where you would like to work. If you are working already now, think about the company where you are working. If you don't have, if you do not work right now, think about a company where you would like to work. Read about this company and try to understand what are the human capital qualities in this company which are required for employees to be successful in this company. And then evaluate yourself. Think whether you have these qualities. If you have, that's great. How can you improve them? If you don't have, what can you do to actually develop these human capital qualities in yourself? Okay? If you don't have the qualities, you will not be able to be successful in the company of your choice. So what you need to do is to develop these human capital qualities, and then you will be successful in this company because you will already have all the skills which create economic value in this company. And so please do this task for the next class session. We will start our discussion with this task, and please do it. By doing this, you will actually do a big favor for yourself. You will analyze what human capital qualities you have, and you will look at them in terms of how they create economic value for you. And also analyze your human capital qualities in terms of the country where you would like to live. What are the human capital qualities that are required in this country to be successful? And then again, analyze yourself whether you have these qualities. If you do, that's great. How can you improve them? If you don't, what can you do to actually acquire them? For example, someone is thinking about getting into an IT company. Of course, it's necessary to improve all this knowledge. Someone is working in marketing. What do you need to do? You need to know statistics to be very good in marketing. You need to be creative. You need to have great people skills. See, how can you improve all of this? But before you start thinking about improvement, analyze what you have. Just take a sheet of paper or Excel and write down the qualities which I have, which I think create economic value in my company, in my country. And by analyzing yourself, by placing your human capital qualities inside of kind of bigger picture, you will see what you already have and what needs to be improved and what needs to be acquired in terms of your human capital. Okay, this is what I wanted to share with you today. What questions do you have? Okay, if you don't have questions, let me share my screen and remind you about the next class session. So the next class session will be talking about DISC, really interesting discussion. Then we will have a little bit of leadership discussion, and then we will have a guest lecturer, a very interesting gentleman. He will talk, and I'm sure that you will enjoy that lecture very much. And then here is your quiz tool. Quiz tool is based on the knowledge which you have acquired after the midterm exam and until the day of quiz 2. And then, as we were discussing it yesterday, there is your final project and final exam. That's it. Okay, if you don't have questions, thank you for your really good work today. I really enjoyed your ideas about development of your emotional intelligence. They are really good. But it is one thing to hear others sharing good ideas, and another thing is to actually apply good ideas. So don't just say, oh, it sounds good. Yes, I sometimes will do it. No, do it. Start doing it tomorrow. Start with something start with one small thing and actually do it. And you will be surprised how rather soon you will start understanding other people better, and how you will actually feel more confident, because when you understand others better, when you notice that you actually can predict what another person will do next, it creates great confidence, and confidence builds on itself. You will become even more confident, and being confident is actually part of human capital, a factor of human capital. So you will improve your human capital as well. See, you will do yourself all these great favors by accomplishing the homework task, which I have asked you to do. Okay, good. If there are no questions, so I wish you to have very good and safe evening, and goodbye. We'll see each other next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a
See
good
you.
evening.
Thank you
Bye.
very much and
Bye.
goodbye.
And don't
Bye.
forget to send me by email that you were present during the lecture. Send a message by about yesterday and about today. Just send one message. I was present, October 3, October 2, or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.